Hi, my name is Nicholas Cohen. I'm a primary care doctor with a practice in downtown San Francisco. I created Health Score, a comprehensive program to optimize your health and extend your lifespan. Today we're focused on the category of sleep and activity. We're talking about aerobic exercise. And this is recommendation number 11. Get sufficient aerobic exercise each week. Let's start with the definition and prevalence. First of all, aerobic exercise is defined as any activity that raises your heart rate. Formerly, the US government defined any period of exercise lasting at least 10 minutes that raised your heart rate to be aerobic exercise. But in 2018, they did away with that distinction, and any amount of activity, 2 minutes, 1 minute, that raises your heart rate is considered aerobic exercise. So there's no minimum duration on the amount of time for a bout of aerobic exercise. There's two categories of aerobic exercise: moderate intensity and vigorous. Moderate intensity is defined as anything that gets your heart rate to 50 to 70% of your maximal heart rate. Vigorous intensity exercise is any exercise that gets your heart rate from 70 to 85% of your maximal heart rate. To calculate your maximal heart rate, take the number 220 and subtract your age in years. That gives you your maximal heart rate. So for example, someone who's 30, their maximal heart rate is 220 minus 30, or 190. To calculate, for a 30-year-old, to calculate their range for moderate intensity exercise, it would be anywhere from 50% of 190. 50% of 190 would be 95, and 70% of 190 would be 132. So someone who was age 30 would be engaging in moderate intensity exercise if their heart rate was anywhere between 95 and 132. And anything above 132 would be considered vigorous intensity exercise. The US government physical activity guidelines define sufficient aerobic exercise as 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity. That's 50 to 70% of maximal heart rate. It's the equivalent of brisk walking, or walking at a 20-minute per mile pace, or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise per week. That would be 70 to 85% of maximal heart rate and the equivalent of running. And what percentage of Americans are actually meeting these recommendations? Just a tiny bit over half. 53% of US adults meet this recommendation.